Welcome back. It's been a little bit. It's been about 5 months longer than I wanted to originally make these, but we've upgraded. We have a camera now, so no more iPhone usage, which means better quality for everybody. I figured it's June when I'm making this, which means we're halfway through the year, which means a third thing. We get to do a half of the year record recap. So let's go over all of the albums that I have gotten so far in 2025. These will not be in order just because I can't even remember the order off the top of my head. So we're just gonna start with the little pile that I have acquired next to me, and then we'll do the ones behind me. For starters, we have Bambi by Anxious. I did not think I was gonna enjoy this album as much as I did. Easily a 10 out of 10. If you haven't listened, I highly recommend. This is a recent release. We have Either Way, The Sun's Exploding by True North. Again, new band to me, probably a new band to you. They opened for Capstan when I went to go see them a couple months back. I loved their vibe so much, and also this pressing is beautiful. I love when artists put the time and care to make sure that their albums match and make sense. And if you need a song to start you off, listen to Still Enough. It is so good. This is an artist that I found on TikTok. If you are not listening to Bike Roots, you're missing out. They're from New Jersey. I have to make that known. That's their whole thing, is that they're from New Jersey. And as a fellow Jersey girl, we gotta support. I got to watch them open for Arm's Length on their most recent tour. I loved the vibes. The vibes were a 10 out of 10, and Dave was nice enough to sign my album for me. And the pressing is equally stunning again. I say it all the time, small artists and pop punk realm bands make the coolest pressing, and I will argue with no one on that. And if you need a song to listen to off of here, World Apart or Rush of Energy. Those are my top two. And then speaking of Arm's Length, we have two from them. We have their newest album, There's a Whole World Out There. This is a 10 out of 10 album. It is very much a contender for my album of the year. If it isn't album of the year, it's because I liked the Hot Mulligan album so much, because that's coming out if you didn't get that memo. Hot Mulligan, new album in August. This is the Koi Pond variant. Look at her. She's stunning. She's beautiful. If you're gonna give it a listen, honestly, for this one, do the whole thing start to finish. You don't want to skip around with this one. Do this one start to finish. And then their previous album, Never Before Seen, Never Again Found. This is on the Midnight Haze variant. I got this one at their show because I was not gonna pass this up. She's so pretty. And my favorite song on this one is Formative Age. So if you're gonna listen to one, that or Object Permanence. So that does it for the mini pile. Let's get into the ones behind me, because we have a good chunk back here. So not one, but two copies of Grayscale's The Heart. You know how much I love Grayscale, and we know how much this album meant to me when it came out. It still means a lot to me. Talking in My Sleep is my favorite song on this album. So how did I end up with two? I pre-ordered the Overcast variant, which is this right here, She's Beautiful. During the time that I did pre-order this, I went to their album release show. Did not really plan on being there, but I was like, you know what? I have the day off, let's go. So it worked out perfectly. And while we were there, they had then said, after their little acoustic set, they'd be signing records. I didn't have a record, so I picked one up at the shop and had them sign it. The marker was running a little thin, so it's a little hard to see, but they're on there. And this pressing is limited to 1,000 copies. This is apparently the variant they had at their actual release show, like not the acoustic set, but the show itself. So it was really cool to be able to get something that I never thought I would actually get my hands on. And then we have Joyride the Pale Horse by Heart Attack Man, and then this is their white and tangerine quad vinyl. It's so cool. It fits the album so well. It was a toss-up between this and the pink one. I'm glad I went with this one. My favorite song on here is The Gallows, which I keep saying, like, if this album came out the year that I graduated, The Gallows would be on repeat forever. You'd have to listen to the song to know why. Another band that I got into this year, I was sleeping on this band, I don't know why, but we have Belmont and their album Liminal. My favorite song on here is Day by Day. I've heard Belmont in the past, like it's not like I've never heard them, but I never really sat down to listen to an album of theirs, so I'm happy I finally did, and I'm happy it was this one. And also, it's like the beer foam ones, but pink. And who wouldn't want pink beer? And then this is actually a paper sleeve, an alternative sleeve, if you will. This is the actual cover, which matches the pressing a lot more. These next two are actually a gift from a friend. Dylan was nice enough to send me two albums. I did get, actually, you know what, let's go over the reason why he sent these over. So I went with my best friend to see Kelsey Ballerini. I am not a country music listener, but she is, and what kind of a friend am I to not go see my best friend's favorite artist? Go and see your friend's favorite bands with them. It literally opens up like a whole new realm. And who knows, maybe you end up liking the artist a lot, like I did. So now I'm a Kelsey Ballerini fan. Of course, since I'm a new fan, I had to go and get her new album, which is called Patterns. This is the Saturn and Moon pressing, I think, if I remember correctly. But it is a white vinyl for one and a pink for the other. And I think it's so cute. There's that. And then the reason that Dylan sent these over is because he had Kelsey Ballerini's Rolling Up the Welcome Mat, and he was like, listen, I don't really listen to them like I thought I was going going to, I'd rather them go to a happy home where I know someone's gonna play them and get use out of them. And then this is like a smoky vinyl, and it actually has like an etching on it. Sure, yeah, okay. I don't know how well you can see that. And then Dylan was kind enough to send over another, and this one's actually so funny because I have looked at this album so many times at my local record store and just never bought it because I kept saying I'm gonna listen to that and then I'll come back if I like it. Never got around to it, but we have acquired it anyway somehow, I guess through manifestation. But this is Drummer by G-Flip, and I think G-Flip opened for Fletcher on their last tour. I might be wrong. I'll have to double back on that. Next up, we have our short and sweet cutie, Miss Sabrina Carpenter, the deluxe version. I held out because I was like, listen, I know our girl Sabrina. She did a deluxe for emails I can't send. She's gonna do a deluxe for short and sweet, and then she did. So we have the short and sweet deluxe with like the pearlescent pressing. I almost did the blue, but it wasn't the shade of blue that I thought would really fit the album. This pearlescent is just so sweet. Also, I love the alternate cover so very much. I think the original one is cute, but there's just something about this one that eats. And then while we were at Creep Records for the Grayscale acoustic set, I had noticed that there were signed State Champs self-titled albums sitting in their stock. I couldn't leave without a signed State Champs vinyl. It's actually, I think, also my only thing signed by them, which is crazy because you think I would have gotten something signed when I was in their music video in like 2016, but no, I wasn't really thinking or using my brain at that time. Really glad though that as the years have passed, I've started using my brain a little bit more. And then this is the clear with white splatter pressing. She's beautiful. I love her. Next up, we have another gift from a friend. This comes from my friend Brent. We originally met over TikTok as well, and the first time we ever met up was at a Halsey show, or what was supposed to be a Halsey show until it got tornadoed out. If you know, you know. Love and Power Maryland. It was a great time. But I had an absolute blast with Brent, and we've been close friends ever since. Brent reached out and was like, hey, I have a duplicate of an album. Do you want it? And I was like, I would love to. So they sent over Halsey's The Great Impersonator, but this is the 80s version, and it is a red pressing, and it is a beautiful red. Kind of magenta-y in person in the light, but definitely showing up more red on camera. Now I have the Y2K and the 80s. So this is Wicked, the score by John Powell and Stephen Schwartz. It is just standard black. I wasn't too picky. This one I don't spin as often. I'm not much of a score listener. It does make good background music, so if I'm ever doing chores or something like that, this I will put on. Normally I gravitate towards my Hobbit and Lord of the Rings score. And lastly, we have Coldplay's Moon Music. This I loved as an album. I thought the concept of it was so cool and so well thought out. And it is clear. Like sometimes they say like clear record and it's a little foggy or it's kind of like yellow tinted. This is like a true clear, and I was very impressed when I saw it. And last but certainly not least, we have 7 inches. We all know that I'm not much of a 7-inch collector unless it's a song by an artist that I don't frequently listen to, but I do like the single. So that brings us to Gracie Abrams. I am not much of a Gracie Abrams listener, but I love That's So True. I thought it was such a fun song, and it is on this beautiful magenta. My whole thing as well is I didn't want to go and buy a whole album just for one song. That is not who I am, and I don't have the money for that. So when I saw that That's So True got its own little 7-inch, I said, I can do that. And then we all know I'm a huge One Direction girl, and in that I am a huge Niall girl. So when Niall did This Town live at Royal Albert Hall and Slow Hands live at Royal Albert Hall, you know I had to pick up the 7-inch. I was not gonna say no to this one. Again, I'm not much of a 7-inch collector, but if it's got Niall on it, I'm in there. He could sell a bag of air and I would buy it. And then this is just standard black. I'm not mad about it. It goes with the aesthetic of the cover really well, so no complaints here. Again, it's Niall, so I probably wouldn't complain anyway. You know what? There is one more that I forgot to show you. This is the newest edition, and it was actually already up and set up on my record player, which is why I missed it. But this is the new album by Stateside, Where You Found Me. I just recently gave this a listen. I didn't want to listen to it until I had it on vinyl, so the fact that it came on release day was super cool. Let me show you the pressing. Not many artists do green, but oh, do I love when they do. If you don't know, green is my favorite color. Whenever an artist does green, I get super excited because again, not many people are doing green. I don't know why there's no love for green. We have so much blue and so much red. Let's get some green in there, please. I do have a few on pre-order. I have Hot Mulligan's new album, The Sound a Body Makes When It's Still. And then what else do I have? I also have Colorblind's Needle Eye 7-inch. I know that contradicts me saying I'm not much of a 7-inch buyer, but it's their first ever vinyl. You all know how much I love Colorblind, so it just made sense to buy their first 7-inch and their first vinyl ever. Also, it was limit of 500, so you know, I'm a sucker for that as well. I'm trying to think if I have anything else on pre-order. Nothing's really coming to mind, but I guess we'll see what shows up in the mail because I do this thing where I buy stuff many months in advance and then it shows up and I go, oh, Forgot about that. And then just a little recap for what's been going on these past 6 months in the Nat's Vinyl realm. Hit 10K followers on TikTok and I cried about it for like a week. So I just want to say a massive thank you for those of you that have followed along and have supported this journey and have talked music with me and just stuck around. I love you forever. Forehead kisses for everybody. And we have a blog now. It is natsvinyl.blog, where there are tour announcements, album reviews, album and EP announcements, favorites of 2025. So if you're interested in seeing some more things, definitely head there. And then since we have like an actual vlog camera now, I'm gonna be taking you guys along to concerts that I go to. I'm super excited to do this. Granted, am I super comfortable filming outside of my little corner yet? No, we're gonna do this together and we're gonna vibe like we always do. So links are where they're always at, and I will see you in the next one.